Question for you. Do you ever catch yourself being completely paralyzed when it comes to content creation? Even though you're an expert, even though you know how to deliver your service, you had clients from before, you know everything revolving your ICP, and yet when it comes to actually writing the scripts or writing the plan for content creation, you get stuck and you get paralyzed. And the worst thing is that you're probably going on social media looking for creators who might help you with it, and it seems that every creator has a different approach, so you never know which one is going to be the right one. And I was in the exact same situation with my personal brand just a few weeks ago. But 2 months ago, I decided to go all in with my personal brand, and what I will show you today is going to completely transform the way that you think about content creation. And when you understand this concept, you will never have to worry about what is going to be the next thing that I post. By the end of this video, you will have the most clear understanding of what to do next for your content creation. I'll show you exactly how to decide on what content pillar to focus on given your specific situation so that you can monetize your audience of your personal brand. But first thing that I want to cover is, what do you need actually to sell your offer to your audience? So your audience has to be sold on, first thing, the niche that you're in. For example, are you running paid ads? Are you doing cold outreach? Are you doing any type of lead generation? Whatever you do, your niche has to be sold on the converting mechanism that you use. Second thing, they have to be sold on the system that you have. So they have to think they can't live without it. And then finally, they have to be sold on you as an expert. So it's a personal brand. They have to think of you as an expert. They have to think, this person can help me to get to my goal. Only when you have all these three things throughout your content and the person is actually sold on these things, you are going to be able to sell your coaching, your consulting offer when you're running a personal brand. Now, assuming that you have your ICP in place, you understand your offer, everything from that side is set in place and it's all ready to go. This concept of content creation works in a way that you firstly define your bottleneck, then you figure out why the bottleneck is there, and then you create content based on the bottleneck. And then as you solve one bottleneck, you focus on the next one and you focus on the content that comes at that point. And usually within personal brand businesses, there are three main bottlenecks. The first one is you have no leads. The reason why you have no leads is because you're lacking exposure. So for that, you need top of the funnel content. You need people to think, I never thought about this problem from this angle. Right? So you need to introduce people to your offer. The type of content that you create is paying content focused on a solution, right? Surface belief shifting, where you're not really diving deep into niche down beliefs, right? But you're just focusing on shifting their belief that your vehicle is something that they have to focus on. For example, don't do cold outreach, you need to do paid ads, something on that surface level. So you're basically selling people that your niche is the way to go. This is one of the ads that I'm running as top of the funnel ads. It's basically focusing on pain that my prospects have and then offering a solution. I'm not gonna play the whole video right here, but you can check it out somewhere on my Instagram. And as a result, what I'm getting is daily followers coming in, people that are actually qualified, right? So like people with these blue badges, and cost per lead is something literally ridiculous. So I spent like 30 euros and got 20 followers. It's ridiculous. So now you fixed your lead flow. Let's say now you have enough leads. When you find yourself in a situation where you have enough leads, now the content focus has to shift. And this is all going to make a lot more sense once we go through all of these steps. So stay with me here. It's going to make a lot more sense. Second bottleneck that you might be experiencing is that DM conversations don't convert, which means that you're lacking trust, you're lacking authority, and you're lacking clarity. Based on these three things, we are going to create content to fix these specific problems. So this is all middle of the funnel content that we want our people, our followers, to think, this is how I could solve my problem. Basically, the way to work on this lack of trust is to create authentic content, right? So people have to be acquainted to who you are. So your business insights, how you think, what are your personal opinions, your values, your life values. So they have to be introduced to you as a person. To fix the lack of authority, we are basically showcasing the proof, which means your results, your clients' results, your lifestyle. What is the lifestyle that they will be able to live if they get to your program, if they get your results? And you fix the lack of clarity by creating value content. And this is what everybody does in 90% of cases, but that's just not enough. You have to have everything else in a picture to actually sell. And when I say value content, I mean explaining your how, so explaining your system, introducing your unique solution into everything, basically these type of videos. So you're showing your funnel, you're showing your results, you're showing your system inside, and then you can expand to YouTube as well if you want to go with that route to expand more into this educational part of the videos. When you fix your DM conversation, conversations starts to run smoothly, people are interested, you're having booked calls, but after you book those calls, the sales calls don't convert and you can't close clients. The reason why this happens is because there is a lack of conviction. So we come to this bottom of the funnel content. And what the goal here is, you have to make people believe I can't succeed without this solution. That's the goal. So the type of content that we create here is content about limited beliefs, content about wrong beliefs and wrong actions your clients are taking, and then objection handling. So after you conduct the sales calls, after you get stuck somewhere in DMs and people give you objections, they give you what they think is going to work, but it's not something that is working with your offer, you start to work on these. And this is one of the examples of that content creation. Instagram content strategy to sell your info offer versus selling your agency offer is significantly different. Because somebody gave me this sort of like an objection or they like the way of thinking, I just use that as a source for content creation, this content piece. This type of videos don't have to be highly edited. You don't have to plan them too much because this should be a feeling as if somebody is standing next to you and you're just like explaining something to a person that you know. So the more that you make it to be like a human contact, like a regular conversation, the better it is going to convert. So now once you have all of this in your mind and you kind of understand where you might be, so you're either in a position where you have no leads. When you're in that position, you focus on top of the funnel content. Where you're in a position when you have DM conversations that don't convert, you're focusing on middle of the funnel content. And finally, if you're having sales calls that don't convert, focus on this bottom of the funnel content. This is how you know what type of content to post. This is how you know what percentage of content to put into what. For example, if you're in this position where the sales calls are not converting, 80% of your content should be focused on bottom of the funnel. Limited beliefs, wrong beliefs, objection handling, because this is what's going to give you the fastest wins. So based on your situation, decide what type of content to post and focus on that. But of course, your content is not going to work unless you have your ICP in place, unless your offer is set up properly, unless your profile is set up properly. So if you don't want to gamble, if you don't want to waste your time testing these things out and you want to save yourself some time, you can book a call down below with me. It's a free strategy call, of course. We can figure out where exactly are you stuck within your business. Is your ICP set properly? Is your offer good? And ultimately, do you want my one-on-one help to move this faster and take away the guesswork from the whole equation? Anyways, see you in the next one.